we're so quick to uplift other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we're our biggest critics, and I did not have the capacity to go through that again. I was focused on enjoying my life and enjoying myself. Because you have to be self-directed. Do not let self-doubt cripple you. Like self-doubt, like be gone. Okay. Hi guys, it's Mofe Wyse and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as always, thank you guys so much for the love, the support on my last two videos. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. I'm just going to keep thanking you guys over and over again because without you, I probably wouldn't be able to keep going. So thank you guys for keeping up with the engagement, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So today's video is definitely for people who are considering starting their law school journey. They are considering applying to law school. They want to, get some insights into what the process is like. And so I will be sharing 5 things I wish I knew before applying to law school. So the first thing I wish I knew when applying to law school was numbers do not define you. Don't sell yourself short. Okay? So with applying to law school, it's technically 5 parts that you need. You need an application, and you would typically fill this application out through the Law School Admissions Council website by creating an account. And every other thing in your application process goes through that account as well. Well, that's how I did it. I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed. But yeah, that's how I did it. And then you need a transcript from an undergraduate institution. You also need letters of recommendations. I know I turned in 3. I turned in 2 from my professors at college, and one from my supervisor who I worked with also at college. And then you need a transcript as well. You also need a personal statement, and then finally you need an LSAT score. So the LSAT is a standardized test that you have to take to get into law school, like the SATs, like if you were going to college here in America. So with the LSATs, there are 4 parts to the test, and I can definitely go into more detail about how I studied for the LSATs and how I prepped for the LSATs in a different video. But there are typically 5, well, when I took it, there were 5 sections. I think it's changed with talking to people, but there were 5 sections, and one of them was experimental, but you didn't know what section was the experimental section that wasn't graded. So it's like you had 5 sections to just go through. And the LSAT is out of the 180. So I took the LSAT the September of fall semester of my senior year in college. I'm pretty sure it was September. Yeah, it was September, fall semester, senior year in college. I studied the summer before my junior year summer. I took the LSAT in September, and then I got my score, and I scored a 155 out of a 180. Now 155 is a good score. You can definitely get into law schools with a 155. I got into law schools with a 155. And I couldn't take the LSAT again. Well, I could, but the mental capacity. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, studying for the LSAT is really draining, that I did not have the capacity to go through that again. And I decided to just work on other parts of my application. But when I got my LSAT score, I already had a list of schools that I wanted to go to or that I wanted to apply to. And then I got my score, and I had to rethink things. So schools typically post their LSAT scores, like their median or mean LSAT score, the 25th percentile, and I think the 95th or 75th percentile on their website. So I already had a list of schools that I wanted to go to. But then when I got my LSAT score, I was like, okay, you are not aligning their numbers, so maybe you shouldn't, look at those schools. But that is literally the wrong mindset. Like, that is the wrong mindset. Because the application literally has the multiple parts of the application, and they take into consideration your letters of recommendations, your GPA from undergrad, and your personal statement. So the LSAT is like a part of that, and they look at the application as a whole. So just because you may fall short on one part of the application does not mean like your chances of getting into a certain school are like ruled out. But I started to look at schools and their numbers, and I looked at my number, and like I was so hesitant to like apply to a lot of schools. And also applying for law school is expensive. So the more schools you apply for, the more money you're paying. So it's like you have a limited number of schools you can apply for because it does cost money. So when I went through that process of like looking at the schools and looking at their numbers, and I was just like, nah. So I started to limit myself to schools that like I knew, because I had like the LSAT score that fits in that range, like it was a higher chance that I would get in. And I didn't want to aim high. I didn't want to look at schools that their LSAT scores were like in the 160s, 170s, because I'm like, I don't have that score, so I wouldn't get in. And the thing about applying, I definitely think you should aim high. Like, don't just let your LSAT score, which is one part of your application, limit your choices. Obviously, I think you should apply to schools. Like, everybody with their application, they always have like safety scores that they know that they will more than likely get in. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't, aim high for the schools that you really want based off of a score alone. So don't let your LSAT score limit you. If you feel like you need to take the LSAT again, definitely do so. I didn't like have it in me to take it again. I'm just being honest. I didn't have it in me to take it again. I was in my senior year of college. I still had exams. I still had to write the personal statements. It was just like so much going on that I took my score, and I said in every other part of my application, I'll make sure those areas are spot on because I might be weak in this area. So yeah, just don't let your LSAT score limit you or stop you from aiming high in terms of the schools that you apply to based off of the numbers alone. So the second thing I wish I knew when applying to law school was you don't have to know what type of law you want to practice. I am a second semester 2L, right? And I do not know what type of law I want to practice. You come into law school thinking you want to practice one area, and as you go through law school and you are exposed to different areas, you realize like, whoa, like there are a lot of options out there, and you probably haven't been exposed to lots of options prior to you coming to law school. Well, if you're like me, you weren't exposed to a whole bunch of like options for practice prior to coming to law school, so you don't have to have your mind fixed on a specific area. I think the only area that you need some type of requirement is if you're going into patent law and you have to have a degree in like science or engineering. But other than that, from what I know, you don't have to like be fixed on a specific area. I came into law school thinking I wanted to do one area of law, and I realized that's not the path for me. And I think the practice of law is so diverse, and when you actually come in, you see the different areas. You take classes that may seem more interesting than others. You do internships in the summer, you do externships during the semester, you do legal clinics, and you realize like there's a whole lot out there that you didn't know, and it's actually good to have. You need an open mind. You need to be open to the range of possibilities and opportunities that come with finding yourself and what area it is that you actually want to specialize in. So you don't have to know what practice of law you want to go into. You don't have to be fixed and have a fixed mindset, and you're actually not supposed to have a fixed mindset on that, because things change, life changes, and you realize what you think you want to do might not actually be what you want to do when you actually gain the experience. So the third thing I wish I knew when applying to law school is you don't have to take law school classes per se the summer before you actually start law school. I kind of knew this because I didn't take them, but some people might not know that. They might feel like they need to, know what they're getting themselves into completely. They have to have like, experience with like a law school classroom, a law school setting, and that's just not the case. Personally, the summer before I started, I was moving across states. I was focused on enjoying my life and enjoying myself because I knew what law school was going to be like. I knew what law school was going to be like, and talking to people, watching YouTube videos, I definitely was like, I'm about to be in some serious, I'm about to be in something serious for the next 3 years of my life. That the summer before I'm living it up. And that's honestly the truth. I didn't take any law school classes. I didn't read nothing law school related, like law school books and stuff. I didn't do that. I said when I get to law school, I will figure it out. And for me, that was fine. I am doing perfectly fine. A lot of people didn't do that. They're doing perfectly fine. So don't feel like you have to know so much about law school and know so much about what the classes are like and like the subject matter, be able to read cases already, because I didn't. I literally did not know how to, and they teach you that like your first week, they teach you how to read cases, how to case brief, and I can go into more details about case briefing in a different video. But they definitely teach you all that in law school. Well, in my school, they taught me all that, and I was perfectly fine. So don't feel like you have to go out of your way to be over prepared. Even though being over prepared is a good thing, don't kill yourself about it. Don't like stress yourself over it if you're not able to do so. So the fourth thing I wish I knew before coming into law school is you have to be self-directed. No one is going to want more for you than you want for yourself. Literally no one in this world. Like, you have to take control of your life. So for example, if you don't know what area of law you want to go into, you have to figure that out by yourself, and you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you figure it out, and you figure it out like sooner than later. So you have to reach out to people, have conversations with people, talk to people that you usually wouldn't talk to, like learn about other people's experiences. If you want some type of exposure to a certain area, figure out if you can get an internship in that area, figure out if you can do an externship. And I think that's the beauty of law school itself. There's so many ways you can gain experience in so many areas, and I'm very much aware of the stress that comes with even just messaging people you don't know. Like it does, like it can make you feel anxious, because you're reaching out to somebody that you don't know, and you're trying to find out information about themselves. But I honestly feel like attorneys love talking about what they do. Like, I definitely feel like they love talking about what they do, and their practice and their field and how they figured it out. Like, attorneys love talking about that. So don't be like, I guess don't be shy. Even though like I get it because I'm a shy person, but like you have to work your way out of that in taking initiative to reach out to people and getting the experiences you need to put you on the right path. The last thing I wish I knew before coming into law school is do not let self-doubt cripple you. Like, to this day, I think a lot of people, myself included, still struggle with self-doubt. Like, you're always doubting yourself, doubting what you're capable of, doubting who you are, like doubting your greatness, honestly. I guess we let that limit us and limit, our options. We kind of close off to different opportunities because you're just doubting yourself. And I know, like, for me, when I was going through the process, like I said, I was looking at schools with like extremely high LSAT median scores, and I was thinking like, I can't do this. Like, I feel like you have to work to overcome it, honestly. You are definitely capable of seeing it through the end. As long as this is something that you want, you can definitely see it through the end. And I feel like even when we talk to our friends or talk to people around us, we're so quick to uplift other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we're our biggest critics. And we just have to, keep telling ourselves, like, self-doubt, like, be gone. Okay? Like, we're not doubting ourselves this 2022 and onwards. Like, we're trusting that we're capable. Like, you are definitely made for it. And like I said, practice of law is diverse. There are different areas that even if you feel like one area might not be your strong suit, you can try something else. And that brings me to the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for sticking through to the end. I hope this video was definitely helpful for anybody who's going through the process, or who's considering going through the process, or who's just weighing out their options, or anybody who's just watching to support, honestly. I hope I was able to help. Don't forget to like, comment, share,